Hi guys, welcome to Stack Reframe. So in the previous video, we have seen what is CSS and by how many ways we can write CSS, isn't it? That is inline CSS, internal CSS and external CSS. Now in this video, let us discuss some of the important CSS properties like border, margin, padding, etc. Isn't it? So let us discuss all three in today's video. So for that, I'm going to my VS Code here. Okay, and I have already made a file that is border padding and margin.html. I have opened it here. Now, let us take one example to understand. After that, I will tell you the definition. First, let us take one example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a p tag here and I will write, let's say, any content I'm going to write like welcome to stack reframe channel, isn't it? Now this is the thing I have written. Now let us go live here and see the output. Now we are getting here the content, isn't it? Welcome to stack reframe. That what we have written in our VS Code here in the p tag, isn't it? Now just tell me, if you want to give a border, if you want to give a border inside in this content in the p tag here, how we can get a border? For that we have a style that is called border, isn't it? So we'll write here inline CSS. We are going to write, as we have discussed in the previous class also. For the time being, we are going to write inline CSS. That means writing the CSS in the same line, isn't it? So for that, I will write style here, and I will write in the quotation, I will write border is colon. Now you have to write here how many pixel border you want in your this content. Now if I want 1 pixel, I have written 1 px, that stands for 1 pixel, isn't it? Now you have to give one style, that which type of border do you want. So I'm giving here a solid border. I will write 1 pixel solid. And which type of, which color border do you want? For example, if I write blue, just go back and see the output. Now you see that this content has a border which is blue in color and which is solid border we are getting and which is blue in color, isn't it? Now you must be thinking that this border is occupying the entire row, isn't it? Why? Why? Because we are using a p tag here, and p tag is a block level element. That is why it is blocking the entire row. That is why your border is coming in the entire row, isn't it? Here, am I clear for this padding? For this border. Now you can ask me one question here, that what if I increase the pixel here? For example, let's say instead of 1 pixel, if I'm writing 10 pixel, what will be the output? You see, you will get a 10 pixel border here, isn't it? What value you will give there, that will come here. Okay, now for the time being, I'm just keeping it 1 pixel only. Now, as I already mentioned here, that solid, what is solid? Solid is a style, isn't it? So by how many types of style we can give in border? So first one, we have solid that we generally use, that is solid border we are getting. Here you can do one more thing, that is called dashed border. If you write here, go back and see how your border is coming. It is coming in dashed, isn't it? Just let me give 4 pixels. Just see the output. You see, it is coming dashed border, isn't it? You see. Okay. Again, you have another property that is called dotted. 4 pixel dotted blue. Now you see, it is coming in dot, isn't it? It is coming in dot blue color, 4 pixel border, isn't it? So this is how you can change according to your need. Okay, but we generally use solid color, isn't it? 4 pixels solid blue. Now you see, it is coming in solid. Okay, now you can change the color. Instead of blue, you can write green, red, whatever you want. Okay, Now for the time being, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste 3-4 times. Let's say I'm taking 4 times. Okay, now see we have 4 times it is coming, isn't it? Now I think border we have done. Now let's get back into padding. What does padding means? Now if you see here, just go back. If you see here, the content is written here and the border is coming here, isn't it? There is no space between this content and this border, isn't it? So if you want to increase the space between your content and your border, then you have to use padding. Okay, or in simple words, what we can say is, if you want to increase the space inside the content here, inside this border, you have to use padding. Now let's say how padding works. Let's say I'm giving a padding to the first p tag. Okay, so here after this we can write here padding, hit enter, colon. Now you have to give the values in pixels, isn't it? You can give in percentage also, but we generally give in pixels. Now if I give padding is equal to 20 pixels. Okay, now just go back and see guys, I have given padding in only in the first p tag. So just let us see the output. You see, only in the first p tag we are getting a 20 pixel padding. That means 20 pixel space we are getting between the content and the border, isn't it? So this is how we can use padding. Okay, so for the time being I'm going to copy this padding and I'm going to paste it in all the p's, isn't it? Now just see, everyone is getting 20 pixel padding. Fine. Now there is the last one is margin. It is important. Now what margin means, that here in the padding, if you want to increase the content between the if you want to increase the space between this content and the border, we use padding, isn't it? If you want to increase the space inside this border, we are going to use padding. But if we want to increase the space between this here, then we are going to use margin. That means in simple word, what we can say, that if you want to increase the space outside the border, we are going to use margin. Okay, now let us see how margin works. Here after the padding, after this, I will write here margin is equal to, you have to give values in pixels or percentage, whatever we generally give in pixels. So let's say if I give margin is equal to 30 pixels. Now go back and see, and again I'm giving this margin only to the first p tag. So go back and see what it is giving. You see 30 pixel margin is coming in the first p tag, you see. And now just notice here that 30 pixel margin coming from the top also, 30 pixel margin is coming from the bottom also, and from the right also, and from the left also, isn't it? So this is how we can use margin. Now one more question that you can ask is, what if we do not want any margin here in the left, in the right, and in the bottom? I only want margin in the top. For that, what we can do is, I will write here, instead of margin, I will write here margin hyphen top. If I give margin hyphen top, just go back and see, I am getting a margin only in the top, isn't it? I will just increase the margin so that you should get a clear idea. If I give 70, just go back and see. Now see 70 pixel margin coming only in the top, not in the left, right, and bottom, isn't it? Now, similarly, if you want to get margin in the left, what we can give, instead of margin top, what we can write here, margin left, isn't it? If I give margin left 70 pixel, just go back and see, we are only getting a margin of 70 pixel in the left side, isn't it? Then similarly goes for, you can write here margin left. After that margin you can go for bottom. You see, bottom we are getting a 70 pixel here, and similarly we can use bottom, instead of bottom we can write margin right, isn't it? Okay, you see it is coming right margin 70 pixel. So if you want to give a particular space to some side, like only to the right or only to the left or only to the top or only to the bottom, you can play with margin top, margin top, bottom, left and right. Okay, but what if you want to give a uniform margin to all this? Instead of that, go for only margin. That will give a uniform margin to all sides, that is 70 pixels. Okay, so this is what is all about margin. Okay, for the time being I'll give 10 pixels and I'll copy this and I'll paste to all the p tags here. Okay, so just go back and see the output. Okay, 10%, 10 pixels is coming to the all sides. Okay, so this is how we are going to use border, we are going to use padding, and we are going to use margin. Okay, I hope by this video you are pretty clear about what is border, what is padding, and what is margin. So that's it for now in this video, and we will see some other CSS properties in the next video. Take care guys, bye bye.